My name is Solomon Lubar. I am studying biology at UW-Madison, graduating 2025 in about a month. After high school, I took a gap year, moved out west to Washington, worked out there for about a year. When I was in Washington, I did AmeriCorps, which is like Peace Corps for America. Out there, I worked at a food bank called Thurston County Food Bank, and I did that for about a year, and I fell in love with it. So then one day when I transferred here, I wanted to like meet people, and like I wanted a job because I was broke. So I went on the UW student like jobs website, and director of outreach was the title of the posting for the food bank, and I was like, that sounds way too professional, but I'll try to apply, and then I got it.
I'm Amelia and I am a second-year Master of Public Health student at UW. And I have an emphasis on community-engaged research and scholarship, which basically just means that I think that the people that are most impacted by public health programming and policy should really be centered in decision-making. I serve as the Graduate Student Advisor, which essentially just helps oversee all of our operations, things like hiring our undergraduate employees, training, posting hours, booking and doing outreach for volunteers, doing outreach events for the pantry overall on like the broader campus community, supporting ordering, distributions. My role's been likened to like an executive director of a nonprofit without actually dealing with like the money. So kind of just oversee everything, but primarily serve as like a mentor for the undergraduate directors that work in the pantry.
We're open 3 days a week, Friday, Mondays, and Tuesdays. We get our big shipment of food at our East Campus Mall location, which is our physical food pantry. We get those shipments on Fridays. So each week on Fridays, we have a couple volunteers come by, and a driver from the Second Harvest Food Bank comes by with around roughly 3,000 pounds of food. Kind of goes between around 3,200 and about 2,800, give or take. So they arrive around noon. We take a bunch of carts and use on our volunteers. We get all 3,000 pounds of food and bring it all the way up to the food pantry and set up for in time. That's at about noon. And then at 1 o'clock we open up. So about an hour span, we bring in all the food, store it, put it out on view, make it pretty for everyone, and then let people come in. On Wednesdays, we do our Eagle Heights distribution. So that one looks a little different. Instead of like a physical pantry, we do pop-up. We show up, the food has already been delivered. It usually sits for about 10 minutes outside, which they put it in shade. It's totally food safe. And we, with a couple volunteers, bring all the food inside, set up tables, organize, people start to line up, and then between 5 and 6 o'clock, around 100 or so families, usually around 110 now, families come in and we give them food. We usually give up all the food, and then extra food from that we bring to our East Campus Mall location.
The first major change that we've seen is huge increase in usage of the pantry. So we've seen a 300% increase in the number of households being served from January 2023 to January 2025. So one thing has just been like increasing reach overall. And that also maps on pretty well to looking at national increases in food insecurity trends. Of course, you know, looking at open seat usage is a proxy of food insecurity, but it is definitely something that's interesting and exists. I think another thing that we've changed is increasing the amount of culturally responsive food items we have. So ensuring that folks of different cultural backgrounds are able to receive foods that they need in order to feel nourished and also connected to their culture. So things like red lentils, basmati rice, curry powder has been something new that we've had. So just expanding what we actually offer at the pantry beyond like the typical food pantry, canned corn, canned green beans.
A lot of people also come in for our hygiene goods. So we do give out non-food items as well. So we have kind of like hygiene products and menstrual care products, deodorant, toothbrushes, toothpaste, soap has been really popular. But then of food items that are popular, that granted the non-perishables are popular just because they are usually more expensive and less easy to get. Oil is really popular. When we have that goes really fast. Recently flour has been really popular. But general things like rice and pasta goes really fast and stuff like that.
Like food pantries are great and they serve a really vital resource, but also again, like charity's not enough. We're not actually addressing why folks are experiencing food insecurity on campus. And also, though it's great that students are the ones that are leading the initiative, I also think that there is a role for the institution to play in addressing this, whether that looks like ensuring affordable housing, supporting different meal plans depending on economic backgrounds, things like that.
We do not ever look at someone's income or FAFSA or economic abilities when judging them for the pantry or letting them use the pantry. The ultimate thing with the pantry, we try to create no barriers.
And also, means testing oftentimes isn't super accurate, right? Like, it doesn't capture real expenses, it just captures income before taxes. So it's not considering things like rent or emergency healthcare bills or things like tuition. So much of that goes unnoticed when those are very real costs that students are dealing with.
Right now, I believe everyone that's in desperate need of food is aware of the food pantry. If they contact the university and they speak of any issues with food insecurity, I know we are always the first resource that's shared. We definitely want to serve all the people that are in desperate need, the people that can't afford food. It's either go hungry or use a food pantry. But I think there's also another sect of people that many are afraid to use the pantry, that is not that they can afford food, but it comes at the cost of other like resources or other amenities, or if just food is making you stressful, like purchasing food is becoming real difficult and just like creates unwanted stress. That's kind of also, I feel like you should use the pantry. And those people a lot of time are scared to. They believe they're taking resources away from others that need it. So we have to teeter on that balance of use us when you need us, but also use us when you kind of don't need us as well.
Huge strength, but also you can view it as like a limitation in some extent, is the fact that we are student run and student serving, which allows for a more participatory model. And it's also a lot easier in many spaces to just come into a space where your peers are in it, right? There's not like some older person that is like, hey, let me see your ID, let me see the proof of like income, things like that. You're able just to walk in. It's a very like low barrier access point, which I think is really admirable about our services. A huge barrier, and this is also just like a factor of it being a part of like a charitable food system, is that even though the Open Seat exists and it's really useful and important for folks, at the same time it's not actually addressing any of the root causes of food insecurity. So while folks are coming in and able to access food, it doesn't actually change the fact that they don't have income stability, or they are still unable to maybe pay for rent or deal with like grocery price inflation, etc. So that's definitely a challenge of this work, and also the fact that when things like pantries exist, it also kind of allows us just to like turn away from the fact that we do need to have systemic change.